Okay. Okay. Jen, lovely Krakow. Hello, everyone. My name is Hiro. I'm from Tokyo, Japan. In this session, I'd like to talk about a practical guide for breaking silos by utilizing DevOps. Okay, let's get started. At first, I have a question to all of you. What is DevOps? There are a lot of answers from you, but I'd like to share my answers here. Before writing this document, I checked the word of DevOps by utilizing very clever tool named, do you know this one? And I typed the word DevOps and press enter key and got the result like this. And literally, Google returns the definition of DevOps at first by entering the word DevOps. About 5 years ago, there are a lot of tool information from Google. Therefore, we can say that Google has been improving incrementally. Anyway, let's go to the first topic from Google. This one is from Amazon Web Services. Okay, let's dive into it. Here is the definition of DevOps by AWS. And I highlighted the point like this. And AWS says that DevOps is a combination of 3 elements like cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. By the way, all of you are engineers, right? And I think as an engineer, cross-checking is a very important attitude, right? Therefore, let's cross-check the word of DevOps on Wikipedia. Next. And Wikipedia says that, there is no universal definition of DevOps. No clear definition. However, Wikipedia also says that DevOps is a combination of some elements like specific practices, culture change, and tools. And I picked common keywords from AWS and Wikipedia like this. Okay, now is the time to check one by one. About the tools, you may know a lot of information about public cloud, CI and CD pipelines, container and orchestration mechanisms like Kubernetes, right? On the other hand, how about them? Some of you may know about the word of 4 key metrics, and some of you might read the book titled Phoenix Project. And any other information? So now is a good timing to know about practical examples of cultural philosophies and practices, right? So therefore, in this session, I'd like to share practical examples based on my experience as an Agile coach and DevOps consultant about 10 years. Okay? And here is this session's agenda. Today, I'd like to share 3 experiences which relate to DevOps. And after that, I'd like to sum up points from all 3 experiences, and I'd like to give you some insights about DevOps. Okay, next, without further ado, let's move on to the first experience about getting support from stakeholders by utilizing CI and CD. This episode is in 2013 for enhancing existing mobile applications. And around 2013, it was an era of emerging DevOps. For example, the first State of DevOps report launched in 2012. It also means that there are very, very few case studies and techniques of DevOps. But we implemented DevOps mechanisms for mobile applications. Therefore, we needed to build those mechanisms from scratch. Okay, that's the background of this episode. And in this episode, there were 3 big problems like this. Okay, let's check one by one. Can you imagine? There was no CI, and no CI means no CD. So at that time, we needed to build mobile applications on each developer PC and deploy it to stakeholders' mobile phones by connecting to each developer machine. And those manual operations often caused a lot of misoperations and rework. Okay, and I'd like to share more practical quantitative information like this. At that time, before improvement, it took about 13.5 hours per week for building and deploying applications. Okay, let's check details. At that time, there were about 3 change requests per week, and each request required 4 hours regression testing, and additionally, it took about half an hour for installation for each change. And can you imagine for taking 13.5 hours per week for those non-variable development activities? And those situations caused a lot of frustrations to both developers and stakeholders. From developers, they often complained that they couldn't focus more on feature development due to that of manual operations and rework. On the other hand, stakeholders often said that they needed to take a lot to contact to developers to get the latest applications. However, the latest application often caused a lot of trouble with a lot of bugs. That's a problem. Therefore, it was a good timing to improve all those problems. And here are our actions we did in this episode. At first, I installed CI server onto my PC, this one, not on some racks, because we intended to bypass paperwork for acquiring proper server or rack. So, and next, we used GitHub on this in this project. So therefore, we configured check-in build on my CI server. By the way, we used Jenkins at that time. And one day, if some developer pushed the new code on to the GitHub, CI server detected the change on GitHub and started building the application. And after creating the application, CI server deployed the application to each stakeholder's mobile phone automatically. This was what we implemented in this project. I think this is very common now, right? This approach is very common now, right? But in 2013, there were no proper tools, managed services, and out-of-the-box services. Therefore, we needed to build all these mechanisms from scratch. However, it worked very well. Here is after actions. Here is quantitative information after actions. After those activities, we reduced the time for building and deploying applications to only 15 minutes. Only 15 minutes. Okay, let's check details. After actions, stakeholders request changes 3 times per week. No change. However, we could reduce time of regression testing and installations like this. Okay, let's compare between before actions and after actions. Okay. So we can say that with this activity, we could reduce about 13 hours per week for building and deploying applications with these activities. And this activity reduced frustrations from both developers and stakeholders. For developers, they could focus more on feature development without any manual operations, because all operations were automated with our activities. And for stakeholders, they could get the latest application without contacting the developers, and they can get the latest application automatically, and those results called additional impact to all our work. Those activities, after those activities, we could get trust from stakeholders for proceeding additional improvements like automations, any other agile activities, agile and development and DevOps activities, and so on. And therefore, after this CI/CD mechanisms, we had experimented other automation mechanisms like TDD, BDD, behavior-driven development, and so on. Okay, and here is the point of this episode. At first, let's find stakeholders' most painful point. And next, let's solve it with DevOps. And from this case, stealth pattern works. Can you imagine stealth? Stealth means proceeding positive actions and activities without getting permissions. In this case, I installed CI server on my PC for bypassing paperwork. However, it achieved a huge impact to all of our team members and stakeholders. So therefore, if you are confident about your ideas and activities, I recommend to proceed your ideas without getting permissions. So let's ask forgiveness than get permission. Okay. Next episode is about breaking the wall down by utilizing infrastructure as code. Okay, this episode was in about 2014. In this episode, there was a CA server like this. There was a CA server, and in this server, there were over 100 jobs. However, let's check it. This CI server was standalone. Can you imagine? No worker knows. Why? Before checking why, I'd like to share a problem at first. Due to those topologies, CI server clogs very often. And clogged CI server means that we couldn't finish each CI job within planned time. And it also means that we couldn't release services to customers and markets timely. And it also means that we couldn't finish our work. That's a problem, right? And here are reasons why this problem occurs. Okay, let's check one by one. At first, can you imagine? No clear ownership about the CI server. Nobody owned CI server clearly, and nobody has the responsibility of CI server. Can you imagine? It's a problem. And next, there was a silo between dev and ops. In this team, ops persons managed servers, and in this case, we needed to acquire servers for consolidating CI server, and we needed to contact to ops persons to acquire servers. However, there are a lot of paperwork, and if developers finish the paperwork properly, ops person often caused misoperations because there are manual operations by ops, and those paperwork was very difficult for ops persons to operate perfectly. That's a very huge problem, right? So therefore, we started improving this situation like this. At first, we clarified ownership of CI server at first. This is the first point of these activities. You may know the role of product owner or product manager. So we clarified the product owner or product manager of these CI activities and CI server. And additionally, we aligned some developers as maintenance of this CI server. This is the first action. And next, we added worker nodes for CI server. And at that time, we used Docker and IAC. In this case, we used Chef. And I'd like to share why we choose Docker and IAC. Because we aimed to simplify requests from dev to ops by utilizing Docker and DevOps, Docker and IAC. In the case, dev wrote IAC and passed it to ops persons. For utilizing IAC, dev could write IAC as they want, right? And it also means that ops persons could review and easily run it, right? So therefore, it's good for both dev and ops. And after those activities, we achieved that like this. After those activities, there were no clogged jobs. it means that we could finish our work. We could do our work timely. And we achieved smooth job flow by those activities. And additionally, IAC impacted us a lot like this. For developers, they can focus on more for developing, more for feature development, not for requesting servers to ops by using paperwork. And on the other hand, ops persons can easily respond to developers' requests by using IAC. And it means that we could achieve, with IAC, both dev and ops could produce values more and quickly. So therefore, all of us made win-win relationship with IAC. And I think you need more quantitative information, right? And here is the quantitative information about those activities. From the aspect of lead time, we reduced from 1 week to about less than an hour for using and updating all this infrastructure, not only CL server, but also all infrastructure for developing products. We improved a lot with those activities, right? And here is the point of this episode. At the first, let's find pain points for both dev and ops. Not only for dev or ops, but let's focus on both and all persons. And next, let's solve them by utilizing tools like IAC and containers. IAC and containers were not only for improving development, but also improving relationships among members. And let's make all members more productive by utilizing DevOps and 4 key metrics like checking lead time. Okay. And the third one was about bonding microservice teams by utilizing API testing. This episode was for about 3 years ago, and it's working until now. Okay, let's move on to the details. Okay, I'd like to share background of this episode. Please imagine that there were independent microservices like this, and each of them worked fine. And one day, we created API gateway for combining existing microservices and combining those existing microservices and providing APIs to external users like enterprise companies. But this API gateway caused a lot of outages. Why? Because all interactions by API gateway were not intended interactions for each microservice. And additionally, it caused additional issues like this. Each microservice team became not supportive to API gateway team. Why? because each of microservice team were very, very confident to their quality at first. And additionally, API Gateway didn't provide sufficient outage information to each microservice team. And additionally, API Gateway team created their service without contacting to those microservice teams. Therefore, each microservice team didn't care use cases of API Gateway. Can you imagine? There is a huge silo between API Gateway team and each microservice team, okay? That's a problem. And additionally, we found additional problem like 3 insufficiencies. Let's check one by one like this. At first, very, very few errors at the time. It means that there were so few errors that we couldn't detect and remedy troubles quickly. Can you imagine? And next, few traces. There were so few traces that we couldn't diagnose interactions and troubles among microservices. It means that it took a lot of time for detecting and mitigating troubles quickly. And one more, few tests. There were so few tests on both API Gateway and each microservice. So therefore, we can say that all of our services which relate to microservices are not high quality. Not high quality. In other words, very low quality. That's a problem, right? Therefore, we started improving this situation one by one, like this. At first, we taught test for each microservice related team. And at first, for API Gateway team, we wrote and we introduced and wrote API test for API Gateway. And in this, at that time, in this team, we used Karate. Do you know Karate? Not martial arts, not martial arts. Karate is an open source framework for API testing, and which can write BDD-like syntax, like given, when, and then. So if you know, if you have experiences of using Cucumber, you may Karate will fit to you. And additionally, for each microservice team, we taught about XUnit tools and test design. And can you imagine that all of XUnit testing by each microservice team? I checked the test script from them, and there were no validation. There were no validation, and there were only system out sentence. Can you imagine? Only system out without validation, and it says that it's our unit test. Can you imagine? So therefore, we taught them about how to write proper test by utilizing XUnit, and it includes boundary checking, test pyramid, and marking, and so on. And next, we improved arrays and traces, and we combined them with test results. And if we run test test script, and we enabled to show trace information among each microservices as test report. So therefore, after running your test script, we could get a test report, and on test report, we can see trace information among each microservices. And additionally, if test failed, this mechanism automatically sends alerts to proper microservice team. So therefore, we automated alert mechanisms by utilizing test failure. Okay. And here are our intentions by those activities. We intended to improve communications among each microservice team by utilizing DevOps and observability like this. At first, test is a good topic to start talking among developers, and especially failure information is a very good start point to talk. And next, trace information is a good signal to focus on not only on technical topics, but also business critical issues and outages. So considering business, trace information is a very good information source. And third one, alert is a good source to dive systems deeply. And after those activities, we achieved a lot like this. About outages, we reduced about 30% by those activities. And it means that each microservice team supported us very well. And second, about MTTR, mean time to recovery. We reduced from 1 week to only 2 hours, about 99% decrease. That's a good job, right? And additionally, about test, all of service team started writing test script, and especially about API Gateway team. All members, including product owner, started writing test script from, and now they are maintaining all these scripts now. So they continued writing test script at that time, about 3 years ago, until now. It's really continuous activities, right? And here is the point of this experience. The first point is that let's find blockers of communications among the teams. And in this case, we find blockers like test failures, alerts, and trace information for improving communications. And next, let's solve communication problems by utilizing DevOps and observability. And in our case, we utilize a lot of observability information like logs, alerts, and traces. And I'd like to recommend that all those information has the possibility to improve communication among team members, each team. And last one is that test automation also has the possibility to improve communications and teams. In this episode, we combined observability and test automation to improve communications between API gateway and each microservice team. So therefore, a lot of persons consider test automation is for fast delivery with high quality, right? But it has additional possibility for communication. That's a good point to you. Okay. Now is the time to sum up the points of this session. Okay. Here are summaries of points from each experience. And let's check one by one. First one is from CI/CD mechanisms for mobile applications. In this first episode, I focused to find stakeholders' most pain point and solving it by utilizing DevOps. And the second one, about CI server, I found pain points for both dev and ops and solved them by utilizing IAC and containers. And the third one, about microservices, I found blockers of communication among teams and solved communications by utilizing DevOps and observability. Okay. And okay, now is the time to go back to the keyword. Let's retrospect it. Let's retrospect them. And about them, from my experiences, I'd like to share the point like this. At first, let's find people's problems mainly, and solve them by utilizing technical approaches. This is the culture, philosophies, and practices aspect of DevOps. Okay. By the way, do you know that book titled? Do you know the book titled "Peopleware"? Okay. In this book, Arthur said that the major problems of our software work, are not so much technological as sociological in nature. It means that almost of our problems were not from technological one. They were mainly from sociological one. Therefore, for applying DevOps for cultural change and improving practices, we need to focus on sociological problems or people's issues. This is the main point of this session. Let's focus on people's problems and solve them by utilizing technical approaches. This is the DevOps. This is my idea. And for finding people's problems and improving and helping them by utilizing technologies, at first, maximizing empathy for related people and teams is a very important starting point. And for maximizing empathy, NVC, nonviolent communication technique works very well. For example, observing people finding their real needs and finding solutions for solving their needs and requests is a very important key point for starting improvement. And knowing those information, NVC technique works, and NVC gives us a lot of insights for finding people's problems. And next, for starting improvement activities, 4 key metrics is a very good KPI to validate your or our activities. Do you know 4 key examples? 4 key metrics? 4 key metrics is like lead time, reduction of lead time, reduction of high, sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. So 4 key metrics is a good KPI for validating DevOps activities like reducing MTTR and lead time. And I strongly recommend to use 4 key metrics to show your result to related to persons like stakeholders. And one more, I strongly recommend honing technical skills for maximizing everyone's happiness. Not only your friends, but also yourself. Okay? Very important. And here is the last message from Hiro. I think you got a lot of insights from the first day of this conference, right? And I hope all of you earn additional skills and insights from day 2 of this conference for making you happier, more happier, and making everyone happier by utilizing DevOps. Let's make you, yourself, and your friends by utilizing technical practices. And you please learn achieving those results from this conference. That's the Hiro. Sorry. That's it from me. Thanks for all your attention. And now is the time to go back to the studio. Okay.